What's up, ladies and gentlemen? You are now tuned into the Black Ramen Podcast. I, myself, Chatty Patty, a.k.a. Madam Straw Hat, a.k.a. the Celestial Freaking Dragon, and I have with me...
Hello. This is Sleepy Bree, as always. And guys, I'm so excited. We're doing more Shoujo stuff today, but okay. Continue with introduction. Sorry for the spoiler.
What's up, everyone? This is Derby, a.k.a. Sexual Chocolate. We have a guest with us today. How about you introduce yourself?
Yes, I am Laura Newseth. You can find me anywhere on social media, mainly TikTok and YouTube, as Laura Newseth, and I make content specifically about shoujo and josei, but I do enjoy other demographics as well. But that's like my main thing.
I'm so glad you
all do. I never trust a fan. Like, I won't call them a fake fan, but I will never trust a person's taste if they only watch one thing. If they're only watching Battle Shonen, I don't believe you. If you're only watching BL, I love you, but I can't trust your taste. If you're only watching josei, that's neat, but I don't believe you unless you've sampled the entire platter.
Yeah. It's understandable.
You gotta have a balanced diet when you're into
Exactly. You could have one or two genres where you don't do, but you gotta try multiple for me to trust you at all. Any recommendation that comes from you and be like, I'll go on the list. Maybe I'll get to it. But once you have like 3-4 genres under your belt, I'm like, all right, I want to hear what you're talking about. I might have missed that,
a connoisseur. But we don't care about other genres today. I don't give a fudge. We always talk about other genres. So I want to do something we haven't done in a long minute. If you've been listening to the podcast, you know we always ask our guest, can you give us maybe a top 5 in no particular order, shoujo josei only edition?
You ain't tell me you was doing that.
Hold on.
You too dirty.
Shit.
Where's my phone? Hold on.
Look, I'm gonna need some permission. Some slice of life is just gonna get thrown in.
Shoujo. Yeah, sure. Who's going first?
What we do is we can all like just throw out names like popcorn until we each hit 5.
Okay.
As the guest, Laura, you can go ahead first.
Okay. Kimi ni Toloke. Classic.
Oh my god, you're so correct.
Alright, well, there goes one on my list.
There it is.
I'm going to say what I always talk about, his and her circumstances, Karekano.
Ooh, yeah, I love that one too. That was fire. You know me, I like my toxic love and hip-hop shit. Peach Girl.
Ooh.
Peach Girl is really good. Peach Girl is really, really good. Go ahead, Dirk.
I'll go with one of my first, and that's the Wallflower.
I love the Wallflower. That was good.
That really got me in here. for shoujo.
That could be round 2. Let's see who buckles first.
Okay.
I'm definitely
gonna mention the one that started it all for me as a child, Sailor Moon. Classic 90s kid.
That's fair.
Okay.
I got a drop in clamp. Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles.
Oh gosh.
I have it back here.
It's so great.
I'm stuck. Okay. All right, I'm watching it now. Don't hate on me. Card Capture Sakura.
Ooh, are you watching the original one or the new version?
No, the original one. They said the new version doesn't really have all the stuff that was banned from from earlier. So I'm watching the original one. Is that a lie? Or the original one is just as good? I mean, the newer one is just...
I haven't seen the new one. So I'm just purely asking, no judgment.
Yeah, it's like the continuation of the story. So once you finish the original...
I got more?
Yeah, the new one covers... It'll be Sakura as a high schooler instead of a elementary school kid.
Stop playing. Okay.
Oh, wait, not high schooler.
Weird.
Junior high.
Okay.
Yeah, because it goes from elementary to junior high.
Got it.
That's what's up.
I will go with one of the best ones. If you are shonen only, this is one of the greatest ones to transition. Yona of the Dawn.
Oh, yes. That was good. That was a great watch. Too short though. Needs to come back.
Still waiting for more seasons.
Everybody is. I guess Bree, is your turn.
No. Laura. Give me a second, guys.
Snow White with the red hair.
Damn it!
Yes.
I'll take them that. This is a lucky save. Orion High School Host Club.
Oh my god!
I was definitely gonna steal that from you next spring.
I know. I can't make it easy for you.
Oh my god. You know what? I'm just gonna hit with the modern stuff. To Your Eternity.
What?
That's not. Isn't
That's
it slice of life? That's slice of life.
Oh,
No?
we were saying no slice of life. That's cheating.
Oh, I thought
If you can bring slice of no,
No,
because I
no,
want
just
to.
say only.
No,
All right, I'll take that
I would like to let that happen so I can not lose right away.
Guys, it's only round 3. Come on.
It's only round 3. Okay, I pass. I'm stuck right now. You didn't tell me you was doing this. You really didn't tell me you was doing this.
I will go with Maid Sama then.
Ooh, okay. All right. Ooh, I got one. I think it's what is it? My Little Monster.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I like My Little Monster. That was dope. Toxic as shit, but it's dope. First thing he said, yo, if you move right now, I'll rape you. I was like, oh, wow, you can't say that.
No, people always complain. You don't know, Shoujo is the queen of toxic.
I love
People
it.
complain about like too much hentai, too much ecchi. People complain about BL being toxic, but yo, it starts from Shoujo. It really does.
Yep.
There was
round
a
4.
that was toxic. I forgot what it's called, but everybody hates the main character because he's super abusive to
What is it?
you know-
Like the wolf dude? Ah, fuck.
Is it Wolf?
He's
Yeah,
not actually a wolf. I just think
It's
that's
the
in the
Wolf
title.
Prince, right? I forgot the rest.
Is it the Wolf Prince? I dropped it because she just kept on coming back.
Yeah, like she acted like he was her boyfriend, and then he happily played along as long as she was like his slave or his pet or something.
Yes, the slave. Yes, that's the one. I couldn't stand it. Couldn't stand it. Couldn't stand
I
it.
don't know.
Man, listen. People stay away from that. That's toxic. Wrong message.
Or people, if you're looking for toxic, run towards. I will never judge someone for liking a little bit of toxic. It's like add a little bit of hot sauce to your eggs. Yeah,
Yep.
it hurts, but sometimes it's nice.
Not the eggs. All right, so damn.
Round 4.
I don't have one. Pass.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. We were talking before we started recording. You've got at least one more in you.
I do, but I'm like freezing right now because I'm fanning out because Laura's here.
Look at some pins, yo. Look at some pins around the room.
Well, technically, you did mention a Jose earlier.
Oh, there it is. My bad. Sweat and soap. Sweat and soap.
Oh no, Fire These Fingertips is a Jose.
Fire. Yeah. I usually bring that up after 6 p.m. But yeah, we could talk about Fire in Her Fingertips, ladies and gentlemen. Fire in Her Fingertips. That's mine.
I need to make sure this one is a shoujo because I'm not sure. I want to say Golden Time.
Golden Time?
Yeah.
I don't think I know that one off the top of my head.
I'm not familiar with it.
If it's not, then I will go with Princess Jellyfish since I just saw it this week.
Jellyfish. That is
So
fire.
good.
The OP is hilarious. I love it.
So I just watched it this week because I'm constantly looking for things to watch. So yeah.
And horror, because I thought there was going to be a season 2, but apparently it's not coming out. So reading it is better.
I've got one that's a bit of a steal because I did see this on your Instagram earlier. I think
Yeah.
you cosplayed it once, but Skip Beat. I've had so many years. I am so behind on it. I'm like a good decade behind on that. But that used to be like my top manga. I read it, caught up, then read it again from the start just because I loved it so much.
I love Skip Beat. I love it.
I'm
Okay,
going to
we got
mention
one
Watakoi because that's one of my favorite Jose series.
Yo, I got the whole series back here and I didn't even mention it. That's crazy, right? It's right in my face. Come on.
I'll drop another Magical Girl because this is my 5th and final, so I win at least. Tokyo
Oh my
Muyo.
god. Tokyo
I do.
Muyo.
The Magical Girls are just amazing.
Are you watching?
I was always there for the transformations.
Are you watching the remake?
I started it.
Is it good?
I was not mad. So again, I only saw like 1 or 2 episodes, but a lot of times if I'm watching a remake, I'm immediately disappointed. Like, that's not right. I don't like this new art style. I'm a bit of a like oldie perfectionist. Like, don't touch it if it was great. But so far, I was impressed by the remake.
You know what, Laura? That you don't know Bree that much, but that takes a lot. That means a lot. If Bree could say she's not disappointed, it's top tier. It goes so far. It goes so far.
I don't know about not disappointed, but that's at least respecting the
Okay.
original.
That's still high praise coming from Bree.
Yes.
It is still high praise. Okay, so we going around one more time, or we
nobody
good?
mentioned this.
y'all all need
I was
one
surprised.
What?
Fruits basket.
Okay. Laura.
No, it's okay. Let me inform you. You're probably not aware of this, but I a deep-seated hatred for Fruits Basket. Please don't take it personally, but every chance I will get, I will dump on it. I will throw it in a garbage can, light it on fire, and roast marshmallows over top. I won't even let them eat the marshmallow. I will just let them burn and drip onto it in their molten, melted sugar goop. That is how I feel about Fruits Basket. So thank you for bringing it up just to give me the opportunity to be mad. I appreciate it.
Sure. I will go with Nana for my last one.
Good choice.
I should
have. Patty, don't disappoint us. You just need one more.
I need one more. Damn.
Technically, she needs two because she skipped. Wait, no, she said something.
Nah, I was nice and gave her one.
Damn, I don't have one. But I said two, so I'm gonna just remember when I said
you got to.
I can't use soap. I can't use
You already used it.
Well, that one technically is a seinen, but a lot of people confuse it for a lot of people confuse it for a josei because it I mean the female perspective is written so well that you kind of believe that it's a josei.
Really? Oh, that's interesting. Okay. I
had to look it up too.
No, I would automatically
see where it was published.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, we need more of that stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
It was fire. Damn, I might have to pass.
Go with like Kami-sama Kiss.
Ooh, Kami-sama Kiss, yes. Oh, my Kami-sama Kiss, that's my shit. Anything with Jerry Michael Tatum. Sorry, that's my favorite voice actor. Yes, Jerry Michael Tatum. Matter of fact, let me look at his shit to see what else, because he is the Shoujo queen. Yeah, I could say queen. Because he's part of the Alphabet Mafia. But yeah, Kami-sama Kiss. That's my shit.
There you go.
There it is. Thank you, Derek. Thank you, Derek. Appreciate you.
All right.
We made it.
We almost had to just invalidate ourselves because we're not caught up enough on culture. And by ourselves, I mean you, Patty.
But also, you kind of sprung this on us.
Yeah, you did.
I know a lot of shows that fall into like kind of shoujo, but like, wait, is it?
But if I asked you to name 5 shonen, not even necessarily your absolute favorite, just name 5, you wouldn't win.
Nah, I was still suffer.
Dragon Ball, One Piece, Naruto, Bleach, and Hunter x Hunter.
All right, but that's unfair.
And actually, that's a perfect segue. Why is it unfair? Why is it so much easier to drop those names than it is to just stop 5 of any shoujo you've watched or know of?
There's no big 3 shoujo, I guess.
I don't think you know what it is they're not pushing it as much as they push shoujo. I mean, as much as they push shonen, you don't really see Crunchyroll advertising or VIZ advertising any of their shoujos. Like I don't know what it is. I think they feel like, okay, shonen is where the money's at, but then again, we can't even look that up to see if it's true in the States, because remember we talked about it and Laura was like, no, we can't search it. So I don't even know. Like it's more about what they're pushing out and what their media team is doing, if they do have a media team. I think they have a media team. They got bread. They got my subscription. Yeah, they definitely do have to have a media team. But I feel like they make their media team focus on just the boy shows. I'm gonna call them the boy shows. Well, shonen is the demographic for men.
One of my followers recently mentioned this in one of my videos. It feels a lot like VIZ treats shoujo and any content marketed towards females as like a niche market, when in reality it isn't. But that's the way it gets treated, because at least for the big series that VIZ has right now, which is like Jujutsu Kaisen, they're going very hard on Chainsaw Man because the anime is coming up very soon. Now they've invested more money on Bleach since the anime is coming out in Disney Plus. So those are their like main breadwinners. And when it comes to manga, whenever they do restock the Jujutsu Kaisen and Chainsaw Mans, they do sell out. So they kind of treat that as the manga series for like everyone, despite the fact that it is a shonen, and demographic wise, shonen is marketed towards young teenage boys. But they do see the shoujo counterpart as not for everyone and just specifically for a smaller market, which, I mean, if they market it towards everyone like they do their shonen series, I think they would see a very big shift in how things sell.
So quickly, but one quick thing. Has it been confirmed that Disney Plus has Bleach? We just spoke about this not long ago. Okay, because last we looked at it, it was kind of a rumor, like someone had made a leak, but it wasn't like 100% an announcement. It has now been announced?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
But supposedly it hasn't been confirmed if it's going to be a simulcast, so if it's going to air the same time as Japan. Yeah.
Oh, it says it's not going to be simulcast.
So we'll have to mention that later. But sorry, that was a side note. And yeah, I agree completely. If they pushed it more, I think it would take off. Because this might be a not super accurate way of looking at things. But just to get an idea of how different companies are treating shoujo josei manga, I just opened up their homepage and see right on the plain old homepage, how many can I count that aren't just like shonen? So I do VIZ, and pretty much the only one I see, there's like at least 10, 15 different titles you can see just on straight up viz.com, nothing extra, not going in. And I just see Vampire Knight and Sailor Moon. The rest are all pretty much shonen. And that's not bad necessarily, but then I might compare it to, say, if I look at Kodansha, and right on their main homepage, the background screen of kodansha.us is Sweat and Soap. Not exactly a shoujo, like you said, but the fact that it is something that's shoujo adjacent based on like the female gaze it uses and the themes of it is telling. If I go to 7 Seas, they also have a mix. If I go to, say, moving away from strictly manga, if you open up Webtoon Live, the app, you see just as many like sweet, more woman-directed stories as you do as like the action-y guy men stuff. And you also see kind of the neutral slice of life things. So there's way more of a balance in these others. And I wonder why. So a lot of people just say, well, it's only guys into anime and manga and all that. But like before we started recording, you just mentioned that statistic. Where for the most part, there are a ton of women buying, like the purchasing power, not just who's into it, but who's like putting down the bread. And it's not exactly strictly the men.
Yep.
That's not a shocker. That is not a shocker. That is not a shocker. We, like, as women, this is why another example in the rap game, right? Real quick, all rappers, for them to be successful, they have to come out with a girl hip hop or a girl song for the girl, because the girls are the ones that's buying the tickets. The women are the one that's buying the albums. Guys, they mostly stream, but to get your record sales popping, you have to have a song that's appealing to the women, to the ladies, right? I feel like if they would focus on actually not being misogynistic, I have to say it's kind of misogynistic for you to feel like there's not a lot of people that's going to dive into shoujo and to feel like it's a niche. How disrespectful is that? Like you have so many titles that came out. Like, I think last year was one of the years that we actually had titles that weren't shonen based that were actually good, right? We had To Your Eternity, we had Odd Taxi, we had Vivi. Those, well, I could talk about Vivi. Like Vivi probably, it still has fight scenes, but we saw a lot of anime that came out that were very story driven, more adult, issues being dealt with instead of just trying to level up, aside from the power scaling and all that. And they did very well. It's just that they weren't pushed as much as, the JJKs and the other fighting series. And I feel like that's all with Viz Media. I feel like you need to sit there and put out and advertise, because some of these people, when you go onto your For You page and you mention it in the comments, they're like, oh, what was that? I didn't know. Where can I watch this? I'm like, bruh, you got a Crunchyroll subscription. This right there. And some of them didn't even know You know,
week
and that
updates.
word. Refresh, my guy. Refresh.
It's a nice shiny list. It updates every day.
Yeah, like,
That's Laura, you just said it so great in your TikTok. That's how we like met up and found Laura and wanted her on the show. So can you just kind of reiterate the idea of what you're saying against VIZ? What have you noticed about them specifically that's just been not great for shoujo josei manga?
Yeah. For me, especially having attended Comic-Con where they did have the industry panels, you could really see how different their answers were compared to the other publishers. And I mean, Bree said it, you go to their websites and you can tell immediately who actually is making the effort to bring more content marketed for women and who clearly isn't, which is, I mean, out of all the publishers, VIZ has the biggest problem. And it's simply, they just don't care. Because if they did care, they would put more of an effort to promote these series, but also, reprinting them, just
or
more
even
care.
licensing new ones. Because one thing I do notice a lot about VIZ is a lot of the stuff I see on VIZ is stuff I've seen 10, 20 years ago. Like, if I look at more of their shonen stuff, I do see new things. I am thinking, like, oh, that's cool. It has 10 chapters so far. I'll hop on that. But when it comes to their shoujo, I don't really see that many new ones popping out.
They're really missing the mark, and they're falling behind, definitely.
Yeah, because I see, like, 7Cs is really coming up.
Yes,
and
yes.
I'm a slut for 7Cs right now because they're coming out with, like, my favorite Modal Zushi. I'm very excited for all of those. And I just see them regularly putting out announcements. Like, I follow them on TikTok and say, like, we have 5 new licenses. Here's what we're putting out. And it's often, like, romances. It's often more shoujo adjacent, if not literally shoujo itself. But they also have their other kind of, like, action series and their isekai series. So they have way more of a balance, and they are pushing all of it. And then immediately kind of flavors my impression of them as a publisher, distributor. I think publisher, So that makes me want to buy more of their stuff.
Yeah, San Diego Comic-Con, the representative that spoke up in the industry panel for VIZ, they basically said that they were not going to focus on new licenses. They were just going to stick to what is making, them money, which is the Shonen Jump series and the Shonen Jump app.
Oh, Lord.
Which, I mean, I was in the audience and I was just kind of like, well, yeah, it's very obvious that you guys have been doing that for a while now.
Nobody said that.
Like, we've been, like, shoujo josei fans have been begging for, like, a shoujo equivalent to the Shonen Jump app. At least if you're not, we understand there's a paper shortage, and there's a lot of obstacles that publishers have to, jump to get these series back in bookstores, especially with the North American market being so, it's not even North American. I mean, the English publishers are also publishing for Western Europe. They're publishing for Australia. Any, other imported bookstores like Kinokuniya Japan will have English copies, and other Eastern countries that have Kinokuniya stores will also have a section of, like, English manga. So their market is much bigger than compared to other publishers in different countries. So, like, we understand that, but at least give us an option to read those series digitally. Like, you give your shonen fans an option to consume every single chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen and every single chapter of One Piece. Like, give us, a place to legally read these series without having to resort to, I know they hate the illegal websites, but they really don't give us any option, especially the older out-of-print series that they still have, the license for. They don't want to reprint them because, as editor Nancy said, you should have been collecting them as they were coming out.
I deeply apologize for just getting started. I deeply apologize for not having a job when I was 10 years old. Like, binge reading Full Moon.
What kind of Republican concept is that?
Like, it's, as you said, like, I've said this multiple times.
Just like either, give us a legal way to consume these series. A lot of us were children or, not into collecting. Maybe we just didn't have the funds to do so. But they just don't want to use their resources for that, because I do think that they treat, shoujo josei like a niche instead of, recognizing that there is an audience that is willing to pay for this. Like, even if they were to mark up the subscription price, I think with Shonen Jump it's like $3.99 a month or something. Yeah,
I definitely have that. And I would even be willing to pay an additional $1.99 for like a sister one, even if it's not linked into Shonen Jump. Like, manga subscription options are the best possible thing the manga industry can do, I think.
Yes,
because it's not that it's subscription service versus buying the volume. It's buying anything versus pirating it online. So making it cheap and easily available is one of the absolute best things you can do. Like, it just makes it so much easier to read, and it keeps people's loyalty. There have been entire months where I don't read a single page from my Shonen Jump app, but when I see it's taking money, I still say, yeah, go ahead and take my money. Eventually, I'll catch up on One Piece.
Yep.
If I had that for a shoujo equivalent, I would be reading that so hard, so fast.
Yes.
But another issue we have, too, with this being a niche that they're making, what about the mangakas? Like, what about, they're not getting paid as much as they should, because they're not pushing out their content. They're not pushing out their work. And with that being said, if you do that, you're setting them up for failure. You really are. And this is why we love webtoons, because webtoons let you have the rights to your stuff, and then you can build up your fan base, and people will give you bread. They're like, yo, we like this stuff, let's give you some more money. But with VIZ and with not pushing shoujo, you're not giving an opportunity for these shoujo creators to grow and make their own money. Like, if I have to know that my shoujo artist is eating ramen and sleeping on an air mattress.
Yana Tobaso, we love you.
Black Butler, come on, she just looking for her flowers.
Not that you is shoujo, but still, like,
it's not. You would think she's making bread with Black Butler being the way it is. At one point, it was trending for months on TikTok. Now, all of a sudden, you mean to tell me that she tweeted a couple of years back talking about she sleep on an air mattress? I'm like, no, stop playing. You serious? I watch you on TV.
They're very underpaid.
Right? And we know that all mangaka are struggling, but I would love to see a breakdown of how much female mangaka, specifically female mangaka with shoujo josei series, are faring compared to their male counterparts or their guy-directed series. Because we all know there are plenty of female mangaka making guy series. That's to get like greatness like Demon Slayer and Full Metal Alchemist, so on and so forth. But I'd want that to compare, and I'd also... I have no way of getting these stats. This is purely I wish, but I would like to see how they fare making manga working with publishers as compared to those who go independent with their webtoons. Like, is that the only way to make female-directed series that don't just get kind of shafted and put into a niche market?
What do you call Rent a Girlfriend?
Rent a Girlfriend?
It's a harem.
It's a harem, but I believe it's a seinen.
It's a seinen? Okay, because for some reason that's doing surprisingly well.
Yeah, here's the thing. I think too, when it comes to a lot of male anime and manga readers, male anime and manga fans, they like their romance. They do, but as soon as they see, the shoujo or josei demographic being attached to something, then they kind of, some of them, they kind of go like it's not for me. Because they do like it. I mean, My Dress Up Darling did super well.
My God. Oh, is that a shoujo or josei?
That's a seinen as well.
Oh, it is a seinen? Yeah. Okay, I thought that was still.
Yeah, it was like, they ate that up.
Yeah, Kaguya-sama.
Rent a Girlfriend is also very popular. Wotakoi they like, but once you mention like, oh, it's a josei, they kind of go like, well, it's the exception. It's like, no. There's great stuff. You just have to pay attention maybe to the the genre of that series and not like hyper fixate on the demographic.
Right.
It's cases like that where slapping a demographic label on things is actually really harmful to it. Because we say all the time, warning people that don't say shonen like that's a genre. It's not a genre. Don't say shoujo like it's a genre. There's a difference between demographic and genre. So that's why often we say things like battle shonen to imply like the genre is fighting with a direction towards younger male demographic. But a lot of times, it is like a turnoff for a lot of people. Even when they might talk socially to each other, it's like, oh, it's you know, it's the girly stuff, which is such a shame. I understand at an industry level why, because that's just how publishing industries work. They want to understand what their fan base is and cater towards that fan base. But you know, clearly from an industry level, it's influencing their own opinions about what they're putting out, what they're marketing, and what they think people will want. Because eventually it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Why don't we have high numbers? Well, because you're not publishing in high numbers, you're not going to receive those back in high numbers.
But we're in 2022 right now where people are respecting people's pronouns, finally. So I feel like this is the perfect time to take advantage of the fact that we're trying to be more fluid in our identity and our sexuality and what we consume as content. So this is perfect opportunity for VIZ to be like, all right, cool. Let's put a bigger team and pushing on our shoujo and make sure they have a decent. See, I'm not even saying a fabulous. I'm just saying a decent platform where we can showcase all our digital work, because clearly we know that you can't reprint everything because of the shortage, but making sure that we have access to it digitally will benefit everybody involved. Like, I guarantee you there'll be less misogynistic cis men if this was available. Even if they read this under the sheets in the dark in their room in the privacy of their own home and make sure none of their homeboys know, it is fine, because I feel like this will prepare them on a level step up, aside from asking the question, who can be Goku though? Like, this is what we need. This is what we need. Yo, you've been quiet for a minute, guy.
Yeah, I wanted to let you know, y'all needed y'all time to shine. Look, I agree with all of this. Like, obviously, like, the person who said, like, they're not really planning on improving this, like, that's wild. Like,
why?
Like,
and it's an attitude that's seen across, you know, the people that I have interacted with the company. It's just like, first of all, they're not even familiar with what is in the Shoujo Beat imprint a lot of the times, which is
sad,
crazy.
Good job, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they should be fired. Like, it's like you just threw money away. What are you doing? Like,
they treat it completely. And I can understand a little bit. Like, the imprints are kind of like their own thing. It's the same thing with Sublime, which VIZ is the owner of Sublime, the BL
I'll
mangas.
give them a little bit of points for that. Like, I'm a fan.
A lot of people don't know it's VIZ.
Yeah, I had no idea until you said it. Like, wait. I was about to say, like, let VIZ burn.
No idea.
Like, if they don't care about us, why should we care about them? We can take our money elsewhere. But then you say Sublime's like, oh, wait. Pause.
You put your foot in your mouth without even.
I did put my foot in my mouth a little bit. I might have to.
I can understand why they operate a little independently from VIZ, but I mean, at least the Shoujo Beat has the VIZ logo in the spines. Like, it is obvious it's VIZ Shoujo Beat. So,
and remind me,
there should be
Shoujo
a little
Beat
more.
Eat Tokyo Pop?
Tokyo Pop,
because I know Tokyo Pop is dead. So did that become or eaten by
Tokyo Pop
Shoujo
is
Beat?
now coming back. So they're publishing stuff now. Their partnership with Disney is what saved them. They're doing all the Disney related manga, but they've actually been, it's going to take a while for them to catch up, and they lost a lot of their really popular licenses. Like, they no longer have Cardcaptor Sakura. They don't have any of all the Clamp stuff that they used to have in the early 2000s. They lost to Kodansha. So, but they're slowly coming back, and they've actually have been publishing some shoujo content, BL, GL. So, like, they're slowly, like, picking up stuff, and they're also doing some Korean manhwas as well. So, like, they recognize the demand for that. So, I applaud them. It's gonna take them a while,
like, another underappreciated category.
Yes,
like, I could not name 5GL at all. That's a shame. Yeah, it deserves more attention. Like, all of these supposedly more niche ones, when you bring them into the mainstream, I feel like they do fantastically well.
Yes.
That takes, real quick, I feel like that takes a lot of balls and guts to be like, oh, well, we're not going to reprint that. So if you wasn't collecting from earlier, sucks for you. Do you know how this
is a very boomer mentality?
That's what I'm
Right?
feeling. I feel it's
Yeah.
just that.
It's just a very
people
old
just not
school,
wanting to
like
change.
capitalistic, like mentality. Is like, well, I mean, kind of like a sucks to be you type of thing. Like, we're still making money.
Like, again, I'm ready to start collecting all those things I read when I was younger. And it's like, nah, we're not publishing anymore. Why not? You want me to buy this box set someone's selling for $500 instead of being able to support the creators like I always initially wanted to. So sometimes it is purely timing. And a lot of times we as fans do want to support our creators. We do want to support the industry. I find it so wildly unbelievable that they would say we're not focusing on it.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's
Not
a
only
power high. Viz has Shonen Jump, and they feel like, oh, we don't need anything else. And unfortunately, they're right at the moment. They're absolutely correct. Because, you know, we want to read our Narutos, our Bleaches, our One Piece, our blah, 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 blah. New people are actively coming into the fandom and seeing that they can read all of the chapters on their phones for $1.99 a month of all of them. They're retroactively catching up as new fans come in, building those brands up higher. But that's even worse for all the shoujo and josei that aren't getting that same treatment.
And I find it even more ridiculous for the business side of it because pre-orders are a thing. So even if you don't want to take the chance that, okay, maybe not enough people will buy it, you can have like a limited pre-order for a while. If that does really well, just do more. If it does really badly, you didn't take that big a risk. You just refund that bit of money and say, hey, we didn't reach the numbers we wanted to reach. We're squashing it here. Like, this is not a impossible thing to do, to reprint things. Like, it's just not. It's just money left on the table, and I cannot grasp my head around why you
Like, they
do
could
that.
easily take the approach that Kodansha is doing. Like, at San Diego Comic-Con, they had made a statement that what they're focusing on in the near future is bringing more shoujo josei content. Like, it was a complete 180 from what Viz was saying. So they want to focus on bringing more of the Kodansha catalog from Japan over to the US. But they do understand, the struggles that they have to face with the printing shortage and everything. So they are bringing a lot of titles digitally, which I know a lot of people, they like to collect their physical manga. I do as well. But I think it's good to have, a publishing company that understands that there is that demand, and they are actually actively focusing on bringing those series here and kind of using that digital market as, a test run, like see what's actually popular, see what people are demanding to get printed, because they have had a few series that they started off as digital only, then they picked up the physical license, and now you can buy them at bookstores like Lovesick Ellie, which is it's a great, high school shoujo that started as a digital only one, and then we're getting a condition called Love that got recently licensed for a physical release. That was also a Kodansha digital only title. So they are testing the waters and kind of seeing what series people gravitate towards too. That way, when they do actually go and print those, they can rest assured like it's not going to be such a risky business decision as like, going straight into printing something that people maybe are not as familiar with.
Absolutely. And that's something that's already been proven, that we as fans aren't just a consumer market, but we're a collector market. So plenty of, say, online only comics, people will put stuff on there, it gets a huge following. And then the fact that it's readily available and oftentimes even free online doesn't mean that people won't buy it. Like, I can immediately think of Lore Olympus, OMG Check Please. These are both things that were online. I want to say one was had its own website that you could read it entirely free. The other one on Webtoons, again, read it free. People would read it and then they would still go buy it. They would happily spend money having after already consumed it because they want to collect it as well.
Yeah, but there's another issue that we're not addressing here. Another thing that I think it's totally Viz's fault that this is happening. The fact that they're saying they're not reprinting some of their famous shoujo will force a lot of fans to go online and overpay for box sets that are literally like, you could get a whole box set, probably like $80, right? The full set. And then the person that's online that's selling it will probably sell it for $300, $400, just because they know that this is not going to be reprinted. And then it's not even just a person that's like selling it from their personal collections. We're talking about bookstores that are actually on eBay and on Amazon that are illegally doing this because they're not supposed to do that. And it's like one of those conditions where you cut your nose to spite your face. Is that what it is? Because it's like there's people that's willing to pay $300 for a complete shoujo box set that you could have got a piece of that from. Not only is VIZ is not getting that money, the mangaka's not getting that money, because we all know mangakas get money off of the book sales. And then you're on top of that, you're disrespecting the fans by saying, well, you know, tough titty suck for you. So why are you doing this? Because it's in demand for like months, like 2 months, right? TikTok was showing how these booksellers were selling these books for double, triple the price, the box sets. When you go online and see the original price. Not only that, when they showcase the books, right? And you go on the back, because you know sometimes they be like US price and then Canada price. You see the price.
Yo, we ain't even gonna take the price back off. That's
the worst thing is that even like brick and mortar stores are getting into it, like half price books, I think, and also Second and Charles. We don't have those here in Southern California, but I see it from people on TikTok that they've been hiking up these prices as well. So, and also incorrectly labeling certain series as out of print when they're truly like just out of stock. And I think that that miscommunication could easily be solved by VIZ being like, okay, these series are out of print, these ones right here are out of stock. But they don't do that. They just make you go, oh well, go check on Barnes and Noble and see if it's gonna come back. It's like, no, you're the publisher.
You know,
you're the one.
You should not be making it difficult to be a fan. Dominate the industry, but instead they've given Kodansha, Yen Press, 7 Seas a chance to kind of take the market for themselves.
Yes. Yeah. The only thing they're actively doing successfully is, losing the trust of the shoujo josei community. That's what they're accomplishing. Because now we're taking our money elsewhere, which is,
right.
From a business standpoint, like they're so business oriented. They should know, like, hey, we're missing a good chunk of potential revenue to our competitors. Like, people are taking their money to our competitors, to Kodansha, to Yen Press, to 7 Seas, even Tokyo Pop, also to Webtoons and other web subscription platforms.
Stress
they're
enough that they're
money.
And their timing is the worst for it, because right now is when things are getting popular, things are getting hyped, things are getting more money. And why? That's because our generation is probably one of the first generations to grow up from our childhoods and say, you know what, screw growing up, whatever. I'm going to keep my interests. And now that I have disposable income, I'm tossing it into those interests.
I feel like they need to hire people that understand social media more.
Said that, Laura.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that. Video. Let me tell you something. If you really need help in making sure that you are accommodating all your fans, you have Black Ramen Podcast, ladies and gentlemen, and you have the beautiful Laura here, who's ready to be willing and able to show you how to do things to accommodate all the people. It's called more money. You pay
right? Because that's the only language they understand.
Yeah,
like,
that's pretty much all they understand. Money.
Yeah, that means more money that's coming. First of all, let's a shout out to Laura for having how many followers? 490. Am I doing it? 490K followers?
TikTok, it's like 70K now, which is 70, insane.
70,
yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's 70K.
It's absolutely insanity.
And I love the fact that you're able to give us new titles, new spicy manga, new spicy webtoons all the time. And the fact that you inspired this conversation was amazing, because I saw your videos, because I've been following you for years. So I saw this video. Bree too. Bree saw it on the For You page. Every time I said Bree For You, I saw it. She's on my page. She's on my For You page. I follow her.
Right, she's on my follows.
I was just like, all right, cool. But I feel like if you know, because of the type of the followers that you have and the people who interact with you, you need to do more lives though. But I feel
just slide that right in.
It's very rare that you see Laura go on live, and every time when I pop up, it's like it says it loads and it says an end, like it's done. I'm like, oh man, I just got here. But yeah, with all the followers that you have and all the influence that you have with the anime community, I feel like if taking the time correctly, if VIZ looked out and really invested in social media influencers who appreciate shoujo, that's perfect opportunity to have more access to people that's going to pay more money for these box sets. Like, I mean,
I have done a sponsored video for VIZ, but when they reached out to me, and I mean, it's right in my profile, Josei and shoujo manga recommendations.
Yes. Oh no! What
did they ask me to like promote? Alice in Borderland, which is a
really the one that has live action on Netflix.
No, there was an animated version too.
Yeah.
And I mean, I loved the series. I gave it a good review. Really enjoyed it. Recommended it. But if you have creators that have a bigger platform, advocating for that demographic like shoujo josei, why would you ask them to promote a shonen?
I mean,
and I was very flattered that they even like recognized me and asked me like, hey, do you want to work on a video with us? Like, sure. Like, it's free. It's VIZ Media.
Right.
But it's like almost in every video you see the wall of manga behind me.
Love
and
the
it's not the shonen series that I'm like showing. It's the shoujo. So I just find it odd that there's a community of creators that specifically make content about shoujo josei. If you're not going to spend your big bucks on traditional advertising like print and stuff, at least utilize social media. Have other creators that actually care about these series do the promoting for you. Like, it helps us grow our audience, but it also helps get money in your pocket. So I don't understand why they're not utilizing, the online community more to benefit. Ultimately, it benefits them more than it does anyone else.
Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe there's an older generation that's not.
Yeah, they definitely need some younger, more like social media savvy voices in their team.
They do. That's why. That's why I'm trying to promote us. Let's go. If you know one thing about Black Ramen, there's an opportunity for us to get paid and make sure that we get more content. Because at the end of the day, we want. This is a selfish shit. We just want more content for us at the end of the day. Like, we don't care.
This results
more content for
more
us, more money for
more
them.
Translations.
Yes,
golden.
What was it like 80 anime came out last year? I want more.
It's like a win-win. You get what you want. We get what we want.
And it's very scary too, because I always say that I feel like right now that anime is being pop culture. I feel like it might be a fad. I feel like it might be a fad for the time being. So I'm trying to keep this process as long as possible because we are all anime lovers in here. We never thought this would be an opportunity where we have so much. Not so much, because we don't have so much accessibility to shoujo and all the animes that make you think and not make you fight, right? Because that's how I call them, love anime outside adult content. Like, that's how I feel. But we don't have, we're now in an opportunity where we have access to streaming services that have the titles that we love. We have now apps that we can read these mangas that we couldn't get hands on because of the fact of lack of access and money. Now is a perfect time for you to branch out and make sure that this does not go away. I don't know what I'll do if this turns out to be a fad. I'll be damned if I go back to just strictly illegal streaming. That's a headache. My computer has so many viruses. I can't do it. I can't.
No, same.
It's a mess.
I refuse to go to YouTube for like 3-part episodes in different languages.
Yeah.
Nah,
nope,
I'm
not doing it.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And
I learned Spanish to watch the last 5 minutes. No.
Word. Word. Oh, and another thing, Laura, I saw one of your videos. You actually was able to cop a box set in Mexico.
Oh yeah.
I was like, yo,
So it's
she.
okay.
Nice.
Shoujo is just treated as a niche by VIZ in the North American market because everywhere else it's so accessible. It's so much more. Well, Mexico still has a long way to go, but the fact that you can find, series like Maid Sama, Kimi ni Toloke, like you actually get shoujo box sets, it's incredible. I also collect manga in French because I read French. That's what I majored in college. And the variety of titles available is incredible. And you can start from like volume 1, like almost everything is in stock. So it's so weird to see how shoujo is treated by different like markets.
I wonder if this is at all what the similar thing that happened to, I think it was Attack on Titan. No, not Attack on Titan. Teen Titans, other one. Yeah. Where the reason the show was canceled was they noticed they had like too big of a girl-female audience. And therefore they didn't want to shift the demographic of their toy sales. Because that's like kind of the behind-the-scenes story that everyone passes along. I don't 100% know if it's accurate, but it's disturbing enough that I could believe it. That the idea of like too many girls flooding into a market for this might lower the value of the market. Therefore, let's just cut it short entirely.
Which is ridiculous. Like you think we don't got money? You think we won't invest? I don't understand that.
I know I had heard something about like the toys being separated in America for boys and girls, so it might just stem from that. And they were like, well, we're not advertising these toys to girls, and since they're not going to buy the toys because we're not advertising it to them, they're not thinking about the fact that they're not advertising it to them. They're just skipping over that part, and they're going, well, we're not going to be able to sell the toys, so gotta squash the show.
They have this weird perspective right now that the worst possible thing that could happen is a man walks into the manga aisle of his Barnes & Nobles and he sees it's filled with women. Disgusting. Like, actually, no. Knowing some guy manga fans, they might be a little annoyed, but I feel like for the most part, opening up to broad audience just makes everyone happier. Like, a few toxic people will say, like, oh, it's all, like, girly and nonsense now. But, I feel like it's a net win.
Yeah, toxic people gonna complain about toxic.
Toxic people gonna be toxic.
They're not gonna change.
I'm gonna go in and pick up whatever I came in to pick up, and probably a few more things.
I mean, this would be a perfect opportunity for like Teen Titans to actually reach out to Mattel and make a Starfire Barbie and make a Raven Barbie. Like, I feel like a Mattel Sailor Moon, a Mattel. What's her? I think Barbie had a sister named Skipper.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we could have had her as Card Capture Sakura. We could have had her like we could have had Ken as Tuxedo Mask.
I mean,
I now want an entire Barbie line. I was never really one to like buy figurines. With the figurine market, can you imagine an entirely all the Sailor Scouts as Barbies?
Yeah.
That's
I
beautiful.
mean, with Disney stepping into anime, that may be coming sooner than you think. Because Disney play no games when it comes to merch.
No, it don't. And the first people that's online, women. I'm telling you, it's women. It's women. If it's not that, if it's women, and then after that is the LGBTQ plus. They will the alphabet mafia will show up and show out. And while we online, we're gonna talk about makeup. We're gonna talk about our favorite toxic 2D men and women, and then we'll sit there and spend all the coin and try to get a chai tea latte after. The amount of friendships that happens in those lines when you dare to pick up your figurine, man. Listen, let me tell you know how many numbers I left with. Like, you're building the community. You're building a safe place where people can enjoy something and not be ridiculed for it because it's not the norm. So I feel like, this conversation needs to be had. VIZ need to get their stuff together. We need to do better. No,
VIZ or we need to teach VIZ why we're wrong. If they're not going to put it out, then fine.
That's
but you know,
we'll take our money elsewhere.
That's true. That's true. We will take our money elsewhere. And with that being said, I hope the shoujo creators, the mangakas. I hope they'll take their content elsewhere too, where it could be appreciated and we can have more access to it. And hint, webtoons is not a problem. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of beautiful stories on
Not
webtoons.
even just webtoons, Tapas, Legend, Tappy Tunes.
Yeah.
Like there are mad apps. And that's why looking forward, as we like wrap things up here, what I want to see is more subscription services and apps that are really valuing, you know, girl and women demographics. So Shoujo Beat, like Viz, I will forgive you in 2 seconds flat if you give me a Shoujo Beat app. I'll even let you charge me $2.99 a month if you just drop that app with
Don't
some
add a
content.
pink text yourself.
I'll pay for it. I will definitely pay.
I would pay for it if it means supporting the industry and making content more accessible legally. Yes, I would pay for it.
High quality, we're able to read it, we're able to see it, we're not getting viruses, we can spread it and share it with each other. Because one of the saddest things is when someone like has this amazing recommendation and they say, oh, where can I read it? And it's like, ooh, not in the US you can't, not in English you can't, you can pirate it. And I hate when people have to share pirate sites, because they really do have to share pirate sites, because there's no official way to get a hold of these.
Yeah.
So I want an app. I want an app. I want subscription services. Like, again, Webtoon, thank you for like putting this stuff out there. Some of the others are still like a little bit expensive paying per chapter. But yeah, I want it affordable and I want it accessible.
Like the paper chapter ones, y'all gotta come up with a proper subscription. Like I'll give you $100 a year, but I can't do per chapter.
Out of all the publishers, the ones that want to take down the illegal sites the most is VIZ. So if they want to make the manga less accessible, at least make it more accessible legally. Like give us an option to what you're trying to like take down. And at the moment, like it doesn't seem like they want to do that. But I do hope that they actually pay attention to how well the other publishers are doing, especially with some of the licenses that were announced this year that VIZ could have easily gotten, because they had such a strong relationship with the Japanese publishers like Hakuisha and Shogakukan. They could have easily picked these licenses up with our relationship, but they didn't. And Yen Press and Seven Seas stepped in and actually was like, hey, this series has sold how many millions of copies just in Japan without an anime adaptation? We're going to bring that to the US. So I really hope that, Do Not Say Mystery and these series that have been licensed this year that will be released next year do amazing for them. Like sell millions of copies, prove VIZ wrong that, shoujo does actually sell. And maybe then they'll be like, maybe the community was right. Like maybe this is not a niche market, and there's an audience that will spend, hard-earned money on series like this.
Absolutely, we are in a huge rise of the bookshelf culture. Like so many of my favorite people I follow, I trust them because they have the massive shelf like you do behind them, and just a line, no wallpaper, just books.
If they don't, I don't know what you're talking about.
You see the people who like build their bed frames out of bookshelves and just like fill it in everywhere and have a little cubby underneath. Beautiful.
Love it. I'm like, what you talking about, Queen? What we here for you? Anytime I see a bookshelf, I'm like, what you got? I'll probably Snapchat. I'll probably take a picture of it just to zoom in to see. Oh, she got that. Oh, she got. But
whenever I go to Barnes and Noble, I'm like, wait, what did so person recommend? I'm just by myself, like scrolling through. I'm like, okay, well.
Have you noticed all the little like post signs in the Barnes and Nobles now with recommendations?
Those are great. Well done, Barnes and Nobles.
Because they got a good media team. I'm pretty sure they got somebody that's on TikTok that's like scrolling through the For You page and make sure that they try to figure out. But Barnes and Noble's marketing team, how they get you on the first floor, the fact that they have their best-selling mangas on the first floor before you go to the floor where the manga floor is. And then they have a sign that say, hey, this is like our manga section is on the fourth floor. Go ahead. The way I zoom up that escalator, know how to get you. They know, especially if you're new to the group, they know. So if Barnes and Nobles can get it together
And most Barnes & Noble locations do have either an end cap or a display for romance and like shoujo josei.
Oh,
so they know.
Because you can tell they know what they're doing with what they're facing out. When I'm walking through, it's like, yes, someone here.
They actually have the numbers of what has sold.
In fact, I wouldn't even be surprised if that's on their applications, where they ask like, "Hey, what section do you know? Okay, you're in charge of that section. I need you to write the cards."
Oh, they believe it. They know the one in the city. I forgot her name. I think it's Susan. Shorty with the glasses. Every time I ask her for a recommendation, or every time I ask her, "Hey, do you know when this volume's coming out?" "Oh yeah, sure. I think it's next month. What's your? I'll let you know." She knows everything I ask her. Everything I ask of her in that floor. And that floor is huge. Shout out to Susan on 14th Street at Barnes & Noble. I love you, girl. What? It's not afraid to leave the desk either. In fact, she said, wait. I think somebody returned that. I wanted Dororo, the full set. And she, the anniversary book cover, she went and got it. She said, "Here, it's and it's discounted." So I was like, "Susan, I'll be back. I'll bring you a hot chocolate." Yo, she is awesome. I love that. I love that.
You got Susan. Then I'm gonna shout out Riley at Westlake's Barnes and Noble, because Riley annotated the entire manga section. I knew, because every single sign was signed Riley. Thank you, Riley. If I ever find you one day, I'm gonna shake your hand.
You see how easy that was?
Sign their name.
You see how easy that was when you got people that's informed in your team? Perfect. It's beautiful. I felt special. That's the only Barnes and Nobles I'm going to because of Susan. Thank you. But Laura, thank you so much for spending time with us. And I'm so bummed out that you lived in Cali. That's man. If you was in New York.
I'll try to go to New York. Hopefully next year.
Oh, you won't come up to Anime NYC this year? That'd be dope if you did.
No, I wish, but it's a little too last minute for me. But hopefully next year.
It's like 2 months. Well, let us know if you come in. We'll man, we got to do another recording. This was fire. Please let everybody know where they could find you and where they could connect with you, and you could give them all the best shoujo recommendations.
Yes, so you can find me on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Those are pretty much the only active ones. I mean, does anybody use like Pinterest anymore or Tumblr?
I use it for recipes, but
yeah, it's like you just go into like pin stuff. But you can find me everywhere as Laura Nusef, my first middle name, and I can give you all the recommendations.
Oh, thank you. You don't need to tell me twice. I already make sure I check all those. It's like, did you see Laura this week? Nah. But thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to tune into Black Ramen Podcast. We have an Instagram. Don't forget to follow us, and don't forget to listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. And if you have any questions and you have any recommendations, if you're working on any content that you want us to review on the show, don't forget to hit us up on Black Ramen Podcast at gmail.com. Please, in this the subject, put Ask Black Ramen, because my stuff be spamming stuff and then it goes away. I delete stuff. Okay, I delete stuff by accident.
All the time.
Yeah,
we have to sort
so fast. Like we've lost paperwork. Had to be like tracked back down.
That's what I'm saying. Please put Ask Black Ramen on the subject title, and then you can send us your stuff and we'll gladly review it, because we want to make sure that if it's a beautiful story, we want everybody to put their hands on it and get contact with great stories, great artists, and stuff that, you know, brings us all together. Is there anything? Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we got a Patreon. Listen, donate to the Patreon. Listen, we got some content in there that's a little spicy, and you know, just give us a couple of coins, show us your appreciation. So we could put more stuff on the Patreon, and we could go to these cons and give us our reviews and talk to all these wonderful people that's making it possible for them to make places for us to feel safe in and nerd and geek out without no fucking apologies at all. Is there anything else that I left out? I guess
manga. But buy from the competitors.
Yes. Don't
pre-order that manga.
Pre-order. If you get access to it, pre-order. Please do that. And if you do have access to it, don't forget to tag us on it too, so we can get access to it too. Share the wealth, please. Share the wealth, please. And with that being said, we're out. Peace.
Peace.
That was dope.
That was good. Thank you so much for having me. It was fun.
Oh, thank you so much for coming on. It was a great chat. Oh, I gotta go to Barnes & Noble so bad.